Hello, everyone. And welcome to tonight's online session. The meditation center is still closed because of the renovations. So, unfortunately, we still have to continue to do these things only online. And at this moment, I just wanted to share with all of you I'm at the Peace Village Retreat Center of the Brahma Kumaris. Is this okay? Do you hear me well?
Yes, you are
Yes,
coming out.
yes, sister.
Just wanted to share with all of you that I'm at Peace Village, the Brahma Kumaris Retreat Center in upstate New York in the Catskill Mountains. And soon the retreat center will open again for weekend retreats for everyone. So I would invite all of you to explore this option, this possibility to come for a retreat in Peace Village. If you online, you can, their website is peacevillageretreat.org, or you can go to Retreat Centers Brahma Kumaris and you'll find it. It's in the Catskill Mountains. And from April to November, more or less, we have the season for retreats, and you can come for a weekend spiritual retreat here. And there are many different topics, many different many different what is it, titles of retreats that you can visit. Just wanted to invite you. It is beautiful here. And it's quite interesting. It is snowing because of the storm front going on. So normally by this time it's not that cold, but it's anyway. Tonight's session on tips for quality sleep. But before we start, maybe we can take a few minutes of silent and silent meditation. I will speak a few words and just see if you can follow those words and concentrate and try to experience in your mind, within yourself, what those thoughts, those words are suggesting. So just keep the body comfortable. Let the shoulders relax. Let the hands relax. Keep the body or the back at least straight in a sitting position. And just allow yourself to fully make the body relax. The tension in the shoulders, let the muscles relax. Let the breathing become gentle and regular and deep rather than quick and superficial or harsh. Inhale and exhale. And inhale And exhale. And with every inhalation, become aware of how the air is pulled into the lungs and how on exhalation the air is pushed out of the lungs. And just bring all your attention in this present moment, right here, right now. Inhale and exhale. And with every breath, let the body unwind further, whilst the mind stays aware and alert, but in a relaxed way. Relax the muscles of the neck, the muscles of the face and the forehead. This body is such a loyal and valuable instrument for the soul. It is useful to have that sense of appreciation and wonder and gratitude for this physical vehicle of the body. And now, as if shift the attention from the body and the bodily sensations to the awareness of the one who is using the body, the inner being, the one who is using the eyes to see, using the ears to hear, using the vocal cords to speak, to produce sound and words. Who is that one? The inner being? And just withdrawing the attention from the external and just becoming aware of this living being of consciousness, as if operating this body from behind the eyes. Soul. And we use the image of a tiny star, a being of light, operating from the center of the forehead, behind the eyes. You're free, timeless, living light. And just fill the mind with this image of light, a tiny sparkling star with living light, a being who creates thoughts and has feelings, a soul. Pure, innocent, childlike, and godlike being in the image of a star. And just enjoy this mind that has few thoughts and just holds this image of light. And a sense of stillness and peace. And all the scenes of the human drama spin around outside, beyond the stillness of the inner world, that whole physical world filled with action and sound and movement. But at the center, the still point, beyond all the noise and the commotion and intricacies of human life, is the immortal, eternal soul, the real I, as if a silent observer of the body, a silent observer of the whole of the drama of humanity. Still, serene, free, peaceful, living light. An invisible being, a soul who is a visitor in this body, a visitor on this planet. And continue to fill the mind with that image of light and stillness, and a sweet silence. And as we gradually choose to enter again into sound and action, we aim to hold this awareness of the self, this beautiful living light, an immortal being, a soul, one who transcends the limitations of matter. Om Shanti. Thank you. Hmm. Tonight's sessions is on the art of sleep. Hmm. Some tips to have a better quality of sleep, good quality of sleep. And They say that the majority of people, studies show that the majority of people uh, of the age of 40 and beyond have had in their life at least one episode or a period where they have had restlessness in their sleep, or not just restlessness, trouble sleeping, low quality of sleep. And they struggle. There is a period of time that they have struggled with that. Either they cannot fall asleep, or they fall asleep and then they wake up at some stage and then they cannot fall asleep again. Or just all throughout the night, their sleep is very light and very easily they wake up. And then they fall asleep again, but then it's very light and then they wake up. And my aim is not to go into the biological and physiological and medical aspects of sleep and sleep disorders and the different forms of them. And my aim is also not to go into medication and uh, therapy that is available if there is a deep, not a deep, uh, an extreme problem. But the aim is to more explore what you can do to avoid those periods. And if you do have uh, or extreme periods or are in a period where you have extreme sleep problems, what you can do to alleviate that. And so it doesn't substitute whatever therapy one may need if that is required. But we do feel that many problems and many medical problems also have have their roots at the level of consciousness. And so the basic positioning of spirituality is that it is not normal and not natural for us to be restless and to sleep in discomfort. But we need to understand a little bit more of what affects our sleep. And there are people, I have seen them, I have been one of them for many periods of time, that the moment the head hit the bed, hit the pillow, gone, as if the machine just shuts down, as if drop and that's it, deep sleep or sleep. And then when you wake up after some hours and sometimes many hours, you're like, um, what is going on? You're a bit disoriented sometimes, and it takes time to wake up. Some snooze. But our sleep and our sleep time is very much connected with our daytime experiences and our daytime activities. Not just physical, and maybe even just not so much at all physical, but much more our activities in the mind and what is going on in the mind. If during the day we have these raising thoughts all the time, How come we expect that we will just fall asleep? Thoughts will continue to race. And even if we do fall asleep, then within the sleep, the mental processes will still continue. And that is why sometimes it happens that one may be sleeping and may be sleeping for hours, but you wake up and you still wake up tired or drained, or as if a truck has hit you. You feel like you could sleep another few hours, even though you have slept enough. And it is not that physically you did not rest, because the body doesn't need that much. The body needs maybe 4 hours, 5 hours to biologically restore. But it is what is going on in the mind, what is going on in our subconscious. If that is not rested, body needs rest, but this mind also need to learn to calm down. And if during the day we are continuously bombarding the mind, allowing the mind to be bombarded by sense impressions and hearing what we hear, what we see, what we read, what we taste, what we absorb through our sense organs continuously, that is happening during the day. And if we generate thoughts and thoughts and thoughts and there is no stop, that doesn't all of a sudden disappear and you fall asleep and you have sound sleep. And so one or maybe two very important factors in returning to healthy sleep and wake rhythms is to have like a calm down phase before you sleep. I, I know this is a digital age, so we all have our computers, our tablets, or phones, and we are with those electronic devices, even in our bed. We're still watching or listening or both, looking at the news. And that is not very stimulating for the, how to say, that is not very stimulating, is not the right word. That is not very useful to calm down. So, uh, one suggestion to experiment with is to shut down your devices, to shut down your television at least an hour before you plan to sleep. It is much better to read a book than to watch a YouTube video or some movie on your television to calm the mind down. And so these type of suggestions that we will explore or share, it requires a certain discipline. And I know discipline is seen as a bad word these days. We don't like discipline. Anyone likes the word discipline? Varsha, you like the word discipline?
Not really, sister.
People don't like this word discipline.
Oh.
because they think it is imposed by someone and that you get punished uh, if you don't do what is imposed on you. But discipline is actually, maybe I have to search if we can find a better word for this. But discipline is actually very freeing because if there is a certain, uh, what is it, habit, a good habit created, it will help you. That may be a good word to replace discipline, a healthy habit. Form a healthy habit and let it become a healthy habit to take an hour before sleep away from your electronic devices. And if at all there is something, let it be a soothing, calming, gentle music, maybe. But don't let it be your phone in your bed. At least have it on a table a bit away from the bed. or just the old-fashioned sound system, some whatever CD player. I don't even know if those things still exist. But some sound installation in your room where you have gentle, calming, maybe even natural nature sounds that help us soothe and calm down and as if uh, take a step back from all the day's activities. And actually, that is very natural for humans, but we have started to live a life that is so unnatural also in our routines. And another thing, sometimes physically we are busy. It's not busy, sorry. Physically we are tired. Physically we may be exhausted. We have gone to the gym or we have did some sports or just whatever. Physically we may be tired or just whole day working in some job or activity where you have to walk or move a lot. And at the end of the day, you're physically tired, but still you may lay down in bed and then the mind starts. Ignite with activity, replaying certain conversations, replaying certain things that have happened during the day, or planning for tomorrow, what will be tomorrow, how I will do it. So physically there is a tiredness, but then the mind just gets into some mode of repetitive thoughts about a certain situation as if unfinished business. The, the day has not been closed off. And so this is another aspect. When you shut down your devices, it is very useful to have what we in the Brahma Kumaris called maintain a chart. And more popular language is keeping a diary. But that is what people, at least before, I don't know if people still keep diaries, but there was a time that was like the thing to do, to keep diary. But this is not so much a diary, but it is more to as if digest your day. What were the things that stood out for me today? What were the lessons I learned? What were the gifts life have given to me? What are the things that I am grateful for, or the people I am grateful for? And if you have a meditation practice, just check how much time did I meditate today? What was the quality of my meditation? But also check the quality of your thoughts during the day. So, say for example, you want to be sleeping by 10 o'clock, no more television, no more news, no more nothing from at least the latest 9 o'clock onwards. And take your, I am still the old fashioned way. I take a notebook and I write my chart. What was the day like? And for me, it is like part of my conversation with God, as if I give my treasures that I accumulated of the day, my inner treasures, I give them to God and I share with God how the day went. Did I pay attention to quality of thoughts? What stood out? What are new insights that I gained through thinking and reflecting about certain things? What was the quality of my thoughts overall? Did I have any useless or waste or maybe even negative thoughts? What did I learn? And maybe also some resolve about how to do certain things tomorrow. If, say, for example, there was a unpleasant or a conflicting situation, what can I do tomorrow to shift it around? What was the lesson it gave me for myself? And I write those things down as if you're processing the day, you're digesting the day, and you're taking the treasures of that day. It is much more easy than to close the day also, and to not carry the day's activities and the day's thoughts into your sleep, because you have as if extracted the jewels of the day, and you have identified the areas that may have been challenging, but you have also tried to think of a way to deal with it in a different way tomorrow. And then, as if you put the day in a box, you close the lid, finish. And this is an art. Of course, we are a quick fix a society that want quick fixes. No, we just want to drink something or take a pill or do something, and everything is better. But the art of living and the art of sleeping has to do with lifestyle and lifestyle habits, and has to do with your inner experiences. And to have quality of sleep, it is connected with the quality of our waking state and how we go to sleep. Now, with what we, like I said, I call it chart. We, the Brahma Kumaris, this is called a chart. You keep your chart at night to check what happened during the day. And it doesn't have to be like a long 3 hours speech that you're writing down. It can be just a few things. What were my lessons today? Some points of gratitude. What am I grateful for? What was the overall quality of my thoughts? Where can I pay attention to? And it can shift over time also. Few days you're checking especially your thoughts. Another time you're maybe practicing patience and you are writing in your chart about that. So make it like an activity where you're nurturing yourself and where you are digesting the day and closing it. And after your chart, I would suggest, if you're not already doing it, take some minutes, 10 minutes for meditation. And if you don't know to meditate, learn to meditate. At the meditation center, we have different meditation courses. Last weekend, we had a 2-day meditation course, and next month, a 7-day meditation course is coming up. And on our website, you will find many meditations. And also on the website of the Manhattan Meditation Center, there is a e-learning tab. And if you click on it, you have 7 days with some instructions and meditation and bedtime stories and meditations that can help you uh, as a guided meditation to listen to before you go to sleep. But the whole aim is that you learn to meditate for yourself, not to as if detach from the drama of human life, detach from the body, and become still and calm in this awareness of the self as light. And more you become experienced in meditation and you are able to remember yourself as a soul. And in that experience, you also become able to remember the soul world, the dimension beyond, and enter the presence of the Supreme, who is like an ocean of peace. And for those moments, your mind is totally focused on beyond this human drama to the home of the soul, that world of silence and peace, which is our origin, which is part of our natural state and nature. And you can, at some stage, even very easily begin to experience the presence of God, the Supreme Soul, which is such a soothing and calming experience of light. And more we become, what is that, familiarized with that state of soul consciousness, with that state of experiencing the company of the Supreme, more that nature of peace and calm emerges. And if in that state you fall asleep, it will be, from my own experience, those will be the best sleeps. But also how you fall asleep, the thoughts we have, and you can observe this within yourself. The thoughts we have, the activities we do, the impressions that we take in before we sleep, we wake up with those same thoughts. I have observed in myself, say, for example, sometimes I have been in the past watching news, before falling asleep. What are the headlines of the day, or some 10 minutes, some news outlet, whatever. I may have a okay night, may have had, but in the morning, those are the points come in my mind. So I wake up and I sit for my meditation and I start thinking about this thing that happened there and this thing what I saw on the news. And I don't want to carry the news in my head all the time. And it is very well possible that it has also worked in my dreams, even though I don't remember necessarily, because some of us, or maybe even many of us, don't remember. Moment we wake up, there may be some inkling about the dream, but then moment we get up and start doing other things, we forget the dream. But the quality of the dreams is also very much connected with what goes on in our mind and our subconscious during the day. And what we take in before we sleep, surely that will influence our sleep, but it also will influence the way you wake up and the thoughts with which you wake up. And so if you have a fight with your some family member or with your partner and you fall asleep with that anger and with that fight and that, guess what? You will wake up with those same thoughts and feelings and emotions. And then your day starts. Your day ends with a fight. Your day starts with a fight, at least in your head. That's not very helpful. Now, no one can change this for you but you. And no medication can change this for you either. Yes, medication can create some what chemical change in the hormonal system of your sleep physiology. Yes, but what you do with your thoughts and what you carry in your sleep and then into the next day, that is up to you. There may come a time when we have as if over abused our mind that we may not have much control at some stage of the thoughts that are raising and the quality of the thoughts, which may be a very low quality at some stage because we have let this mind run wild and we haven't learned to guide it and give it food, give it good thoughts, give it good things to think about. We may have done that over a long period of time, so this mind goes on an automatic mode and just produces a lot of nonsense because I have fed it nonsense over a long period of time. And then in the automatic mode, it starts producing lots of nonsense, even in our sleep. And if we don't sleep well, consistently, the overall quality of our life diminishes. The overall quality of your creativity, the overall quality of your mood, it diminishes. The overall quality of your concentration power diminishes. And then we get used to that and we think, okay, life is just like that. Feeling low, feeling down, feeling tired, feeling distracted all the time, disturbed all the time. And then we just get used to that and drag ourselves along. And of course, also what many of us do when we wake up, what is one, if not the favorite activity of people when they wake up, what they do to prepare for the day? Take coffee, plenty coffee, Plenty, plenty, plenty coffee. So we need that caffeine boost to kind of wake up and have some form of focus and concentration. But guess what? When the caffeine levels drop again in our blood, we need again caffeine. And then our caffeine levels may be so high that at night you can't sleep. In my case, I have observed if I drink coffee after 1 p.m., it affects my sleep at night. Maybe because I hardly ever drink, and those who drink a bit more may be more immune to it. But it is a bit unnatural. We can have a natural, what is the word? A natural, a more natural rhythm and a natural way to deal with our mind. Okay, anyone want to say something at this moment? There are a few more tips, but if you want to say or ask anything, if you don't want to speak, you can also put it in the chat. Today I can read the chat. No? Okay. Then there are some other things that are useful to take into consideration, and that is your nutritional habits, your food uh, uh, intake. It is also good to not to eat late, and definitely not to eat heavy late. And even though alcohol has the name that it kind of knocks you out and soothes things, but it's not really true. Regular alcohol use actually diminishes the quality of your sleep significantly. And anyway, someone on the spiritual journey, it is better to avoid alcohol because it doesn't help the quality of your consistent concentration. It doesn't help the quality of the functioning of the mind and the intellect. It blunts your judgment power and your decision making power and your analyzing power. So, definitely, alcohol is not really helping anyone to relax or to be peaceful, and definitely not to be spiritual. Although it may have an initial numbing effect, what sometimes people feel pleasant, kind of feel numb about the difficulties or certain pain, emotional pain they have. But in the long run, it is definitely not a solution, and it creates addictions. But also your food. Of course, the Brahma Kumaris promotes vegetarian food, but also not too heavy and not late. And especially in America, we have a chips culture. No? People eat until late night, munching this, munching that, munching the other, eating this, eating that. It is good to have fixed timings for your meals and your last meal to have it early. And early would be 6, latest 7 o'clock. because then your digestive system can properly uh, work before you go to sleep. And you will raise light also. Your body will physically be light. So that is another suggestion. And also, uh, if you have trouble sleeping at night and you sleep during the day, it might be useful to experiment with not sleeping during the day. Although during the day, as part of a normal sleep wake resting rhythm, taking a siesta is very natural, but it shouldn't be hours and hours and hours. Half an hour to an hour rest during the day, sleep during the day would be very helpful to feel refreshed. But if you have trouble falling asleep at night, then maybe you should consider to do some calming, soothing activity instead of sleep during the day. But I know American society is not having the habit to rest during the day. But if you do, that might be an area to look into and to create better quality of sleep. Okay, so close your day with a chart or with a diary in which you take your lessons of the day. Generate these feelings of this mood, this attitude of gratitude. Count your blessings. And whatever is challenging, write in your diary what you learned from it and how you can maybe experiment with approaching it differently. That is one. Digital stop at least 1 hour before sleeping time. No devices, and definitely don't take your phone or your tablet in bed. Maybe even better outside of your room. Close them and then you go in your room. You can read something spiritually uplifting, and do meditation and sleep. And as you fall asleep, that is how you will rise. Okay? Anyone want to share anything or ask anything or suggest anything, any of your practices?
I guess the essence of this talk is finding out what it is in the mind, what it is hidden, what kind of thoughts it's is that I am entertaining, that it's taking my sleep away and not letting me having a sound sleep.
And what habits, and they can be thought patterns also. Yeah. You wake up during midnight. Well, what I do if I wake up at midnight, I start meditating because that I have also, there was a time when sometimes, especially when I just moved to New York, I wasn't used to the energy and the vibe of the city. So I would fall asleep, but then after 2, 3 hours, around midnight or around 1, I would wake up and I wouldn't be able to fall asleep. But then I'm just lying around waiting to fall asleep, waiting to fall asleep. And then I become more restless than anything else. So, what I started to do at that time is either I would read something that is soothing or empowering, or I would meditate. And just accept that I am awake, not fight it. Just accept that I am awake, accept that whatever, but then I use my time to further calm down, to further soothe my mind. And usually I fall asleep again after a while, but at least I haven't wasted that time. I haven't lost that time. I have used it in a way that empowered me further. And after a while, continuing with the different practices, um, it stopped. And now I only wake up in the middle of the night if I had drank a lot of water or tea or whatever too early, too close to sleeping time. So I need to go bathroom. So that is one thing to experiment with also. So even if there are periods that you may wake up, but that waking up also has to do with the quality of thoughts with which you fall asleep, how you close your day. But when you do wake up, don't fight it, but make use of that time in a sensible way until you feel sleepy and go to sleep again. Okay, it is past our time. Shall we close with a minute of silence? Hmm.
Thank you, Sister Rona.